Welcome back. It's Saturday, February 25th in the NBA. My four favorite picks are on the way. Let's recap yesterday. As always, a 1-2 day, losing a little bit of money. Gave back some from our 4-0 sweep the day prior. Trae Young easily goes over. Mikal Bridges and the Nets get absolutely smoked. He never stood a chance, ends with 13. And we took LaMelo Ball's under. He shot efficiently from the field. I'd take it again today if I wanted to, but I won't. He obviously goes over. Either way, let's get back to winning. I want that 4-0 day we had 2 days ago. Let's do it again today. If you are new, go down below, hit that subscribe button, drop a like too. And if you ever need any sportsbook sign-up bonuses, they're all linked down below in the description. Let's hop into our favorite plays. The best bet segment is back, and it starts with this guy, Jason Tatum, over 12.5 rebounds plus assists, which is currently minus 118 or so on FanDuel, and we'll take it there. If your line goes up to 13.5, you can take it there for 1 unit as well. Now, Tatum is the best bet of the day. What does that mean? Well, we're putting a little bit more money on it. He's my most confident play of the day. I'm going to ride with him. Now, if you're like Austin, I don't have rebounds plus assists, I only have one or the other, probably would lean towards his rebounds. If you can get that at 7.5, I think that's a good spot. Now, 8.5, I don't hate that either. If you want to go crazy, double-double, don't know the value on that, probably like plus 170, plus 190. Go figure. Take it if you want it. Now, let's talk about Mr. Tatum and the Celtics as they're on the road in Philadelphia taking on the Sixers. Now, just looking at this game, big-time game for both teams. Obviously, the Celtics are trying to get the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference. Philadelphia, they're in the same division, only 3 games back from them. So we know Tatum's going to be out there a good amount of minutes, and I expect this game to be close. Now, historically, if you want to take an under for Tatum, which I'm not suggesting for points today, not a bad matchup because he's really struggled scoring the basketball against the Sixers, who've made a great job making him facilitate for the offense and making him more of a facilitator, not a scorer. And even if he does go out there and score a ton of points, Tatum can still hit this over because we're just relying on him to get some rebounds and assists, which he's done plenty of. In fact, over his last 22 games, he's hit this over in 17 of them. So he's been really, really good. And while players have been in and out of the lineup, this is still a Celtics team that, regardless who's healthy for him, they're going to play Tatum 35 to 38 minutes, assuming this game's close. And this game should be close. And at the end of the day, Tatum's going to be out there a lot of minutes. Now, you look at these, and Tatum's played really well on the road as well. His last 7 road games, 16, 15, 14, 13, 21, 17, and 19 rebounds plus assists going over in all 7 of those games. Knock on wood, he can make that 8 straight, but he's also cashed 13.5 in 6 of those 7. So he's been really good at getting over this line and not worrying about any line movement. And like I said, he's played really well against the Sixers too. His last 6 versus them, 18, 15, 16, 18, 16, and 17 rebounds plus assists. So absolutely crushing this line. That's why he's the best bet of the day. He doesn't have to guard Joel Embiid. Doesn't have to guard James Harden. You're going to see Al Horford, Robert Williams, maybe Grant Williams off the bench, kind of take the task to guard Joel Embiid. Likely puts them into foul trouble. But also we know Embiid's going to shoot a lot. If Embiid misses, normally that's Tatum on the weak side for the rebounds. That's why you see Tatum put up big rebounding numbers against this team. I think he continues to do that. Probably guards PJ Tucker or Tobias Harris or McDaniels off the bench. I think Mr. Tatum has a big night filling up the stat sheet. Best bet of the day, 1.5 units on his over 12.5 rebounds plus assists. If you don't know what units are, it's just a common bankroll management term. We have a betting 101 playlist if you want to check that out. Now let's move on. We've got 3 more picks, including one in the earliest game of the day. We'll save that for last because this one we're going to a guy on my shirt, guy that treated us nicely. I mean, come on. It's Nikola Jokic, the Joker, over 47.5 PRAs, points, rebounds, and assists. If you want to take a triple-double, I wouldn't call you crazy, although it's only like minus 105 or like plus 110 on some books. If you want to take his points plus rebounds line, I wouldn't call you crazy either. I think today is a big scoring night for Mr. Jokic. Now, I don't really have to give you a lot of stats. I mean, come on. Jokic has been he's been awesome. I mean, this is a guy probably on the track to win his 3rd consecutive MVP. He's been great all year long. I mean, one of the most consistent players the league has to offer. And today, him and the Nuggets traveled to take on the Grizzlies. Now, the Grizzlies have been a great home team, like 24-5 to be exact, or maybe 25-4. Either way, a great home team, not been great on the road. But we would like them to be pretty good today. If the Grizzlies are winning in this game, we might see Jokic play a couple more minutes, which is music to my ears. Now, you look at the Nuggets, they are the 1 seed, about 6 games up on the Grizzlies, but still, obviously a slow start, or maybe the Nuggets go on a losing streak, the Grizzlies could, boom, be right in that conversation to try to take the 1 seed from them. So this is a big-time game, a good barometer for where these 2 teams face if they do end up facing each other in the postseason. Kind of get a good gauge of how you match up against the other team. Now, let's talk about Jokic, return from the All-Star break. He had no rest, as we know. He had 24 points, 18 rebounds, 13 assists for 55 PRAs. I mean, like, I don't need to give you a ton of stats. The guy's insane. He only shot 13 times in that game. So if we see Jokic maybe shoot a little bit more today, maybe he gets closer to 15 to 20 attempts, should make that even easier. You look at the guys that are out for this Nuggets team. Aaron Gordon, again, out for this team, and Vlatko Konkar, I think I pronounced that right, will be starting for him. So we're going to see a guy like Jokic have to fill up the stat sheet even more because Konkar doesn't really do a whole lot on offense. And we've seen Jokic play well well against Memphis. 50, 49, 57, and 39 PRAs in his last 4 against them. So obviously going over 3 of the past 4 were all at home. Now they're on the road, maybe where he's going to have to step up even more for his teammates. And the Grizzlies have quietly, without Steven Adams, been giving up a good amount of rebounds to opposing centers. We just saw Embiid drop 19 rebounds on him. Vucevic had 17 couple games before. Kelly Olynyk had 14. We saw a bunch of other guys get at least double digits. We also saw last game, we saw Embiid only had 52 PRAs despite shooting 7 for 25. So he filled up the stat sheet. We've seen a bunch of centers get 6 or more assists against this team. Now you got Jokic, the guy that almost leads the league in assists. He's been ridiculous all year long. We'll continue to ride with the Joker, taking his over 47.5 PRAs. He's been so good. Only going to feel right to ride with him until the wheels fall off. Now let's keep on moving to our last 2 plays of the day. It's a guy that we disrespected about a couple weeks ago. Today we're going to be respecting him. It's Mr. Markelle Fultz, over 20.5 points plus assists. It's currently plus 100 on DraftKings. Now you can take this at 21.5. You can take his PRA line, although Markelle sometimes doesn't feel like grabbing a lot of rebounds, sometimes does. It's normally points plus assists that you're going to rely on for a lot of points, or a lot of his stats for a PRA line, which is why I'm just on points plus assists. But I don't mind either of his lines at 5.5 assists, or I think 14.5, 15.5 points. Now, let's talk about Markelle, because like I said, I disrespected him. A couple weeks ago, I took his under, and he said, yeah, okay, he did a put back windmill dunk on me, and he absolutely went crazy. And hopefully he treats us right today now that we're back and I'm taking us over. And I'll give him credit where credit's due. He's played well lately, and he's been aggressive looking for his shot. Over his last 10 games, Fultz, 15.8 points per game, 5.5 assists per game. That's good for 21.3 points plus assists. So if he can just be average today, it's going to cash for us. But also in those 10 games, 10 plus field goal attempts in all 10, averaging 13.1 a game. Also averaged 32.9 minutes per game, the third most on his team, and 10 potential assists, the most on the team. He's obviously been playing a big role for this team, facilitating this offense, and the Magic desperately need that, and the Magic are favored today at home against the Pacers. Now, these teams have the same record, but still, whenever I see the Magic favored, I'm like, all right, they're probably going to show up pretty well. And Fultz, you look at this, the last 10 games, over this line in 6 of 10. His misses, he ended with 20 on the hook twice, 18 and 12 in the other games. So, look, if Fultz goes out there and clanks it up, I can live with it as long as he's shooting the ball. He's not going to take a lot of three-pointers. Maybe shoots 2 tonight, and maybe gets hot from 3, and then we're going to easily cash this. But a lot of mid-range shots, a lot of shots at the rim, which is good because this is a Pacers team that doesn't play a whole lot of defense, and he's been playing some tough defenses in this 10-game stretch. Played the Sixers twice, great defense. Raptors, Knicks, and Heat. There's 5 matchups against 4 of the best teams that play in defense. Teams actually try on the defensive side. The Pacers are not that. Fultz played them exactly 1 month ago to the day at 21 points plus assists, so right on the dot, but he only attempted 8 shots in that game. That was prior to him going hot and starting to shoot more. If we get close to 12 to 14 shots tonight, this could be a fast-paced game. He's going to probably be guarded by Halliburton, who I love Hallie. Not a great defender. We saw Marcus Smart kind of flexing on and getting a technical. Look, Halliburton doesn't play a whole lot of defense, just pushes the pace. I really like Markelle today. I think he has a good night. We'll take his over 20.5 points plus assists. Now, my fourth and final play of the day starts at 12 p.m. Eastern time. If you're watching this after 12 p.m. Eastern, well, hopefully he's treating us nicely, or maybe you can go in for a live bet because it's Mr. Jakob Poeltl of the Toronto Raptors, over 23.5 points plus rebounds, currently minus 105 on DraftKings. If you want to take a double-double prop, I won't call you crazy if you want to take just his points or just his rebounds. I don't think that's bad either. Now, like I said, this game starts early as Toronto Raptors are in Detroit facing the Pistons. I think the Pistons keep this game close. Now, let's talk about the Raptors first. They're without Fred VanVleet. Big absence. He's out due to personal reasons. I anticipate he probably returns in a game or two. But we look at Poeltl. Took full advantage of VanVleet being out last game. Had 21 points, 18 rebounds. Good for 39 points plus rebounds. And in fact, he's had 39 points plus rebounds in his last 2 games. Now, they aren't going to quickly adjust his line, in my opinion, because they're just going to wait and see exactly how his rotation plays out. Because there's realistically, Poeltl could go out there, get like 8 fouls in one game. I mean, he can only get 6, but Poeltl obviously can get into foul trouble. But also, you look at him, you never really know with the Raptors. We've been burned by the Raptors a lot. But I think Poeltl's consistent playing time is going to stay. And Detroit has not defended centers well this year. They've given up the second most points per game in the paint, where Poeltl does all his damage. They've given up a lot of rebounds to opposing centers, kind of middle of the pack in terms of the points per game. But Poeltl, if you were to just look at, he just played them as a Raptor against them. He only had 11 points plus rebounds in 25 minutes. Yeah, it's not great. Didn't even get halfway there, but he dealt with foul trouble, which is always a concern with Poeltl. He could get into foul trouble every given night, but also only 5 field goal attempts that game. VanVleet scored 35 points, had 8 assists, he had 26 field goal attempts. Well, all of that is gone. Now, Anunoby's back in the lineup, but obviously Anunoby, not a big volume guy, and he could also get into foul trouble. Same with Siakam. And we look, Nick Nurse, the Raptors head coach, He runs his starters into the ground, very similar to Tom Thibodeau. He's going to play his starters a lot. They only played an 8-man rotation last game. We saw Pirtle play 37 and 30 minutes in his last 2 games. If he can somehow avoid foul trouble, this should be a no-sweat bet. He should have a big night against them. But Pirtle's also played well against the Detroit Pistons in his career, hit this over in 4 of his last 6 games. They're still going to play Jalen Duren, the rookie, Isaiah Stewart, James Wiseman off the bench. Now, these guys can kind of take Pirtle off the dribble, but still, Pirtle should see his minutes, get his offensive rebounds, maybe get some tip-ins, and I just think this line's way too low. Given Van Vliet's out, they're going to play him hopefully 25 to 30 to 35 minutes tonight in what I think will be a close game. So even if it's a blowout, we still should see Pirtle have a pretty big night. We'll take his over 23.5 points plus rebounds as my 4th and final play of the day. Those are my 4 plays. Let's go 4-0 once again like we did on Thursday. Let's get back to bringing out those brooms. Special guest hopefully tomorrow. Of course, I appreciate you guys as always for spending some time with me on this Saturday. I'll see you guys back again Sunday morning. Have a great Saturday. See you guys then. Peace out.